What's up, fam? It's Jay Lobos coming back to you on another episode. And on today's episode, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys some information, some disputing secrets, and also some negotiating secrets that could potentially go ahead and help you not only to go ahead and save some money, but at the same time, help you guys to rebuild and reestablish your credit at the lowest cost possible. So for you guys out there checking the channel for the first time, consider subscribing, liking, and share this, because in this channel, I want to bring you guys as much value as possible, and let's continue to spread the awesome information. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to give you guys a few disputing secrets, especially right now that we're going through this pandemic. We're going through a situation where the U.S. Postal Service is underfunded. We're going through a situation where maybe if you're initiating an electronic dispute and it's not going the way you wanted it, or maybe the information that you went ahead and sent over got validated and came back as verified. And I know that could be a little frustrating. And it's like, what do I do next? So one of the first things that I've obviously gone into is investigating what is the best way to try to get these agencies or these bureaus and these creditors to investigate what we want to go ahead and send them. Yes, we could go ahead and compose the most beautiful letter that we go using the rules and regulations, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the 25 sections within that act. But guess what? If it doesn't get investigated, it doesn't get reviewed, then you're not going to have a response. No response usually means no results. So one of the first things that I'm doing right now, especially as a company and as a credit repair specialist, is making sure that we're using every precaution, every situation to the best of our advantage. So one of the best things to do right now, especially when sending out dispute letters, it has to be mail and return receipt. And what happens is the following. Even though that you could literally back then, before this COVID, before March, you could have sent over a letter and it's going to get investigated for the most part. But right now, given the fact that we're going through this pandemic, the U.S. Postal Service being underfunded, we're going through this election in November, guess what? You could technically catch the bureaus in a technicality, which is basically the statute of limitations on time. It's going to be one of the best things to actually do right now, especially that we're going through this pandemic, because there's so much correspondence, there's so much mail, so much information. For them to go ahead and investigate some information and get back to you on a prompt response could be something that could be a huge upside. So again, if obviously you need some information, some more help, let us know. We're here to help to go ahead and compose that perfect dispute letter for you. But when it comes to disputing and sending it off, making sure that it gets viewed, we have to run with that mail and return receipt. You're obviously going to have a tracking number. We're going to be able to know when they got it. This could ensure that you get correspondence. And if you have some response, that could also be used against the agencies depending on the investigation results. Another thing that I wanted to go ahead and go into was when we go ahead and negotiate debt. A lot of my people come through and people panic. I think I've spoken about this in a few times in different videos, but guess what? Don't panic. Like I said before, these individuals could be a cousin, a brother, a mother, somebody. They have titles, they have attorneys, paralegals, and there could be some intimidating. But they're regular people. All they want to do is represent a company that hired them in order for them to be able to mitigate and to try to obtain some of the money that was given over to us as consumers. So all they're trying to do, if you go ahead and get served, and again too, I'm going to make a follow-up video with regards to the severity or the importance or level of high priority when you go ahead and get a document. Either you got something over the mail, that might not be so important, because if they're not obviously taking the time to serve you, then the order of importance might not be there. But for those people that right now are obviously watching this video and you've gotten served, maybe they went to your job, maybe they went to your house, and now all of a sudden now you have a court date. Guess what? Don't feel intimidated. Contact the office who has the account. And guess what? All they're trying to do is get this resolved as bad as you do. So one of the things that I always tell people, don't take what they're telling you as is. Sometimes they'll go ahead and give you some jargon when it comes to, guess what? The balance is $7,000, but we'll be able to take care of that with a deposit of $2,500 and $400 a month for the next 12 months. It's like, dude, that's still the $7,000. What you want to focus on is, this is the tip, focus on reducing the balance. And usually they have a little bit of leeway, especially from the collection companies. They give them authority to be able to lower it up to 35%, 30%. But you could do better than that. If you address the situation from the beginning, if you have some time, if all of a sudden you get served today and you got 20 days to respond, or maybe you have a month to respond, act on it right now. Don't sit on it. Don't procrastinate. Get in contact with them. Hey, how are you? And by the way, the AC is completely off. I was about to leave right now, and I shouldn't have turned it off because I'm already sweating. But nevertheless, don't take what they're giving you as is. They got some wiggle room. And even after you've done the first negotiation, even after the first time that you've already contacted them or you've spoken to them, guess what? Give them a little bit to entice. Oh, listen, I'm going to go ahead and do the best that I can to pay this at this date a week from now. And I'm going to give you my routing and account number. You know they will not run your payment if you call them a day before and you tell them, listen, cancel the transaction because we have what's called the Fair Debt Collections Practice. As a matter of fact, I have something like that over there on my wall. And it goes under what the creditors and the bureaus can and can't do when it comes to collecting. For the most part, is actually the debt collectors. In this particular case, don't take what they're giving you as is. And if they're looking to break down the total balance and even include attorney charges, don't take it for what it is. Guess what? I need for you to help me based on the total. So of the $7,000, what's the best you could do? Oh, you could lower it to $4,000. Fantastic. Could I set up a payment plan? For the most part, they're going to want for you to come out of pocket. They're going to want the full amount from the jump. So before you get into these debt negotiations, be certain that you could back up what you're actually doing with them. So obviously it's a give and take to an extent. Yes, you speak to them initially, they give you an amount, they break the total amount. Could you do the total? No. Could you do the total in different parts? No. Oh, could you do 4,000? You know what? Maybe I can. Let me talk to my husband. Let me talk to my wife. Let me talk to my mom, my cousin. I'm actually going to go ahead and get a commission check in the next couple of days. I might be able to do that. Okay, cool. Then you hang up and you follow up with them and you escalate this and you try to drag them down as much as possible all the way to the deadline. By then, guess what? They have records, they have notes of everything that you've spoken to them about, and you have a high probability or a high chance that towards the end, you've already spoken to the manager, you've escalated it to the manager, you've already gotten certain discounts, you're down to 40, 50%. And if you feel that you don't have the information or the know-how, then let us know and we're here to help. I'm here to help, obviously. And I want to provide this information over to you guys as a tool, as a guidance. These are things that I've done in the past, and I've been able to save my customers over 90% of the overall debt. That's huge. Guess what? The last thing is, if you're going to go ahead and negotiate, you better get that account deleted. We have to fight for a payment for deletion. You want the money, that's fine, but I need something in writing that says that you're going to go ahead and get removed from all 3 credit bureaus. A paid in full letter or settled for less than the full balance or the total is insufficient. That's not going to help you in removing the account from the bureaus. So that's very important to go ahead and obtain. It has to say this information will be deleted from Equifax from Union Experience. In order for you to go ahead, not only satisfy the account, but also have good credit, we need to go ahead and take care of that as well. Guys, I hope this was really helpful. Until the next time, thank you so much for the love and support, and take care. I'll make sure to leave my AC on next time making these videos. Look at this.